Hey beautiful people, and welcome to the very first YouTube video. Yay! So I have been wrestling with myself for the longest time now, trying to figure out what video idea to use. And as you can see by the title, today we're going to be talking about auditions and how to prepare for them, basically. So yeah, this idea basically came about because I have a couple of auditions coming up in the next couple of months, and this is basically going to be a refresher course for myself because it's actually been so long since I've danced, and it would also be a good idea for me to share these tips and tricks with you. So after today, you guys are going to know how to prepare for an audition. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the number one point when it comes to auditioning, this is the most important one above all. It is you need to be mentally prepared. If you're not mentally prepared for an audition, there's no point in being there whatsoever, because you can have as much dance training as you want, but if your mental state isn't in the same place as your dancing, there's 0 point. So to mentally prepare yourself, here's a few things you might need to remember. Number one, hype yourself the f up, because this is going to give you that higher ground. This is going to give you that confidence that you need to get through this audition day, like this entire audition day. Because let me tell you something, you can do this by like positive affirmations, like just reminding yourself your amazing skills, what you're good at, like how much training you've done to get to this point. It's the main thing that will help you gain that confidence. You can also do this by like watching your old videos and comparing them to your new ones, because automatically you're telling yourself your strengths, which is really the key point to being mentally prepared. Number two. So this one is very important for dancers especially. It is, don't see nerves as a disadvantage, because every dancer in the room gets nervous. If you don't get nervous, then you are very special, let me tell you. The best way I combat my nerves is literally just telling myself that every dancer gets nervous, and also just like when you get nervous, the higher your nerves are, the more you care about what you're doing. So it's not a bad thing to get nervous. It's also like really handy to have like a rescue remedy just on hand in case, because when you get yourself so worked up about something that you care about, it's so easy to get anxious over it, when realistically nerves are just there as a natural reaction to the situation that you're in. So try not to get nerves confused with anxiety, and just relax, like really relax into it. Like just remind yourself that nerves are just something that is a sign that you care about, you know, the situation that you're in, basically. Number three, believe in yourself. This is such a biggie. For dancers who don't believe in themselves, it makes it so much harder, like for the whole situation. Like if you are in a pressured environment, surrounded by dancers who are there for the exact same reason as you, it's so easy to kick yourself every time you mess up. So just remember that everything you did leading up to this moment, it is really just about getting over that hurdle. And if you've got through all of the hurdles in training, then you can get through this one as well. Like you don't train for the sake of training unless you're just doing like a fitness class a week. If you're really wanting to be a professional dancer, you know in yourself you don't just train for the sake of training. So really dedicate yourself to this audition and make sure to just really throw yourself into it, attack it, and believe in yourself. So the last point I'm going to make for mental preparation, and I know every dancer is guilty of this because it's just the way the dance industry is, don't compare yourself to the other dancers in the room. This is just such a big deal to me because it's so easy done, because everyone is there for the exact same reason in an audition. So you're going to be looking at someone else's flexibility, technique, you know, you're going to be like, oh, I can't get my leg that high, or I don't have as much stamina as them, or I'm not as tall as them. Just remember that you can't be anyone else other than you. Like, I had to learn this very early on, there is no one in the world that can be somebody else. Like, it's completely impossible. Like, you can't just step out of your body and be a different dancer. Like, you are that dancer. So bring your strengths to the audition. Like, remember what you're good at. So if it's your strengths as like flexibility, energy, musicality, facials, stamina, strength, like whatever it is, like remind yourself of it and really channel it in your dancing. So the next point I suppose that I'm gonna make is, although it's very tempting, do not whatsoever try to be whatever it is they're looking for, because you don't know how to dance like them or how to be like the person they are envisioning, because at the end of the day, you've trained your whole life to be the dancer that you are. So if you haven't trained with that company before, it's not a recall audition that you've done, or you haven't seen the company before, always be the dancer version of yourself, because at the end of the day, you know how to dance like you. So don't put all this pressure on yourself to go out and dance like this robotic vision that they have, because at the end of the day, you haven't done it and you don't know how to dance like anyone other than you. Basically, no matter how hard you try, you will never be another dancer, because you can only ever be the best version of yourself, and you really need to drill that into your brain, because you can torture yourself for so long longing to be another dancer in the room, but just believing in yourself and knowing what you're good at and just working on your own craft, that's really what's going to benefit you in the long run, and especially in an audition as well. So now that we've got mental preparation out of the way, I'm going to talk about some of the essentials that you need to bring to an audition. So the number one thing you need as a dancer at an audition is water. Drink your water. I don't care if it's got flavor in it. I don't care if it's fizzy water. I don't care if you have to have it ice cold and you fill half the bottle with ice, you know, that old trick. Do that. Like, you need water for so many other things than just being thirsty. You need it to lubricate your muscles so that you don't pull anything while you're dancing. It keeps you hydrated so that you can focus on what the teacher is saying. It cools you down so you're not overheating in your outfit. Like, you need water. I can't stress this enough. Like, some people I know, they bring half a bottle of like water or juice to dance and they barely drink it, and they're like, oh, I don't really need it, I'm not really thirsty, I'll wait, it's fine. It's like, it's actually mind-boggling to me that some of you don't drink water. Drink it. It's like your main source of sustenance. So as well as water, food. So I know at an audition it's difficult. It's kind of like a competition day where you don't really have time in between classes or in a class when you're hungry to whip out a meal. Like, sometimes it's just not time effective to sit there with a meal prepped meal, because even though that is like, it's good, you can really only save that for your breaks. So if you're hungry in class, unless there's like a rule where you don't eat in the room, then don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me, just don't do it. Yeah, you really just should have like short, small snacks just on standby that you can just grab, throw in your mouth, chew, go. Like, you need something that's small so you can just pack it easily and it doesn't take up too much space. And also it won't take you too much time to eat it. So things like protein bars, like protein is really good for muscle rest, it's good for keeping your focus, it's good for keeping you full throughout the day so that you don't have to keep going back and eating. So protein foods that hydrate you, so like cucumber sticks, that sort of thing. Keep it on you. So this next one that I'm gonna say, it's kind of linked to food, so I'm just gonna say it. Things like vitamin supplements or minerals or nutrients, any kind of like extra pow that you can get into your system. So it could literally just be like a multivitamin gummy, so things like that. It's really important for focus. So things like magnesium or iron or anything like that, B12 especially, it doesn't necessarily give you energy, but when you eat the food, it helps your body turn the food into energy. So usually your body does this naturally on its own, but if you're going through a whole day where you're exhausting yourself and dancing, then you are going to need that extra helping hand, which is why I suggest that you take B12 or iron, especially magnesium as well, you know, the things that I said. So these are just really important for just your body's natural functions, especially when you're dancing all day long. It's good to just have these on hand. The next one that I'm going to say is clothes. Make sure you don't just have what you're wearing. Bring extras so that if something's uncomfortable, if something rips, if something's not good for a class, say you've got multiple styles in one day, you've got commercial, jazz, tap, hip hop, like make sure you've got everything you need for those classes, because in certain styles, baggies are okay, but if you're taking a ballet class, they're going to be like, we need to see your lines, we need to see your legs, you know. You don't have to necessarily walk in a leotard if you're not comfortable, but tight fitted clothing so that the directors of the company can see your lines, they can see the way your body looks. It's so essential. And also the main reason for having extra clothes is because it's actually really bad for your muscles to go outside when you are sweaty. Not to mention, it's extremely uncomfortable to stay in the same sweaty clothes all day. Like, every dancer that's experienced that knows that it's just absolutely awful to walk around knowing that your back is soaked when you sit against a seat, or like getting off the floor and you can see like booty marks on the dance floor. Like, we don't like that. Like, yeah, it's really bad for your muscles. It can cause like your muscles to tear, like they seize up, and then you have to go in and warm up again when you get inside. Like, it's just not good for you at all. So having extra clothes is something that I can't stress enough. It's so important. Now, as well as having spare clothes, I'm also going to talk about the type of clothes you should bring to an audition. So this is mainly if you have like multiple styles going on in one day, or if you've got like changes that you need to have, or things like that. It's important that you follow the dress code, because you don't want to be the one guy that shows up, or girl, I suppose, guy or girl that shows up in the wrong outfit at an audition. Because although they'll have their eyes on you, they'll have their eyes on you for the wrong reasons. So follow the dress codes. If they want you in all black, then wear all black. Don't be the person that shows up in a completely different color when they've stated that you should have black or a completely different color. It's mainly because sometimes auditions like to record, you know, the dancers, and if you're representing that company, then you need to be wearing what they want you to wear. It's that simple. And also having the correct shoes. So like if you have a jazz class, have jazz shoes. If you have a ballet class, have ballet shoes. If you have, you know, hip hop, wear shoes that are comfortable for hip hop. I can't stress that enough. Wear comfortable trainers. You don't want to wear Converse that are rubbing against your ankle all day. Shoes that make your feet really hot as well. Shoes that are like flat and don't have an arch or anything like that. Just shoes that are uncomfortable to even walk around in. You should not be dancing in those kind of shoes, because especially in a long dance day, your feet are gonna feel it when you get home. Like, there is no doubt about it. Now, this one's a bit of a random one that I didn't even really think to add until like the last minute. Electronics. Now, not for entertainment purposes, more for just functioning purposes. So things like your headphones. If you're like a person who's like music therapy head, then headphones, definitely, to kind of block out the surrounding noise. If you've got a break, to just refocus, pull yourself back in, get that music therapy that you need, headphones are essential. Chargers for your phone, for your headphones, if you have AirPods, or if you have chargeable headphones and you need a charger. Adapters. You need an adapter for, sometimes you need it for the speaker. So they don't always have a speaker with, you know, Bluetooth. So you might sometimes need to buy an adapter. Like this one right here. So I've got one for my iPhone. That's basically just a Apple lightning headphone adapter. So this basically plugs into the aux on the speaker, and then that just plugs into my phone. So this is very, very important. Just bring that just in case, even if they haven't specified. You need your phone, you know, to call your mum if you've messed up, or to look at your timetable to see what time you need to be back, to set alarms. Like, phone, travel, you need it. So I'm not going to chew your ear off for much longer. So I'm just going to pull this into the final notes, I suppose. So I just want anyone who is attending an audition anytime soon or in the future to just remember to bring everything you have to the table, whether it's your flexibility, your positive attitude, your resilience, your stamina, your strength, your ability to just have your passion in hand, like to focus, to have that confidence to go to the front of the class. Anything that you have, bring it with you. And I'm not talking about a suitcase, I'm talking about your essential person, the way you are in your brain. Like, be you, be yourself, and just remember, even if you don't get it, there is always another opportunity waiting for you. In the dance industry, you can't get every job. It is completely impossible. There is always going to be something that you're not right for. So just focus on trying different opportunities and just wait for your moment. Keep working and wait for your moment. And if you don't get in, don't take it to heart. Like, there is always another opportunity waiting for you. What is meant to be will be. And that is it for the first YouTube video. Thank you so much, all of you, for watching. I appreciate it so much. If you made it to the end of this video, I love you. I know I can waffle for days and days. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next video. Bye, my loves.